Creating a new cycle in the new year. I'm Lisa, Love and Marriage Guide, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and relationship coach. And what I think people struggle with the most is losing hope because they get stuck in negative cycles with other people and with life and in their primary relationships. And instead of understanding the negative cycle, they just work harder and harder and they get exhausted, and it does the same thing over and over again. So it's about understanding the cycle so that you can break it and create a new cycle. So when I break down the cycle, I break down the cycle according to thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So what are the thoughts that I'm continuously having? What are the behaviors that I keep doing and I keep trying and trying harder with the same behaviors? And what are the feelings that I'm having? Am I taking care of those feelings? Because that's, for me, that's primary, is taking care of those feelings. Because then you don't have to do the same behavior over and over again. We do those behaviors to try to avoid the feelings. When if we can learn how to take care of those feelings, we don't need to do those behaviors and we don't need to work so hard. So what is your negative cycle that you feel hopeless about and that you want to change in the new year? Does it have to do with your relationships? Does it have to do with money? Does it have to do with your job? Does it have to do with your family? So I believe, and this has been my experience as a therapist, as a person in relationships, I believe that everything is about that primary triangle that was created when you were born. So you were born out of a sperm and an egg, but also it's also important who raised you. Like, who were your primary caregivers when you were very little? Because those are your attachment figures. And it's those relationships and what we have learned from those relationships that we take into every other relationship. So whatever needs haven't been met and keep coming up or become our beliefs about the world. And that's what we want to look at. We want to look at our beliefs. How can we just kind of be mindful about it? Meditation is really helpful for that. Just being mindful and observing whatever beliefs are coming up for you. Those are your thoughts that inform your feelings, that inform your behavior. So start a journal, start meditating, and start understanding that cycle so that you can break it. And another way that you could do it is family constellations. What I do with a lot of my clients is I use paper to represent their parents. And what you want to do is you want to be able to say thank you to your parents for giving you life. That's really all that you needed. You needed a chance. You became a person and you have a chance now. Whatever your circumstances are, and for some people they're harder to change than others, but your parents gave you what they could. And so being grateful for what your parents gave you, even just if it's just life. And then giving back to them anything that really isn't yours that you carried for them. Because we do. Out of love, we carry things for our families. So if you put the papers down where you feel them in relation to yourself, you have one for you, one for your mom, and one for your dad, or for your dad and for your dad, or your mom and your mom. Whoever your primary caregivers were, your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle, your siblings, but you should have a triangle. It should be 3 primary people. Even if you only had your grandmother raised you, but her husband was present, whether he was there or not, and she had some unresolved issues with him. And so that relationship is present even if that person wasn't there. So put them in and feel where they belong in relation to you. And then you can stand on yourself, feel whatever feelings come up with for you, whatever thoughts, say what you need to say, And then stand on your parents, because you'll be able to, or your primary caregivers, because you'll be able to feel into them too. And what is or was going on for them, what's probably still is going on for them if we're doing it in the present. And it will give you a better understanding of your parents. And then you just want to thank them for your life and give back to them anything that wasn't yours to carry, that you carried out of love. Give it back to them. And that simple exercise can be very helpful. The other thing that I found really helpful about that was if I sat down, this was really helpful for me, then I could experience myself as a child and what I took on from my parents. And I was really able to experience that and feel, because I thought it was my responsibility to take care of my parents' relationship. And what I realized in that exercise was that I was just a kid and I took on all of that. And it really didn't belong to me. It was way bigger than me. And so it was easier for me to give it back to them because I realized it wasn't mine. So that's an example of family constellations. And they can be really powerful and help break these cycles so that we can create new cycles filled with hope and love and being present. Being able to change where you are in that present moment. So I wish you a very, very happy new year, and I wish you all the luck and success in breaking these cycles. You can do it. And if you need help, get help. There are a lot of therapists out there that are helping people break these cycles.